Yeah.
There he is.
What up, D?
What's up, J Dub? What's up, brother? What's poppin'?
Oh man, everything is well, brother. Everything is well. I can't complain.
That's good.
Look
That's
at
good.
you, Coach of the Year. What the what?
I know, man. Listen, man. So, it's
Must be
gotta be
nice.
somebody. You gotta be somebody, man.
Yeah,
But not me.
that's a good somebody.
That's a
That's
real
for sure.
somebody, yeah. Real good somebody.
We we were talking about it, man. Like with fights, we got wins, losers, and draws, all that business. Who was that draw you had? You had
Otis Grant. No, he had a
Otis.
DQ. And we were curious because I couldn't find any footage. What happened with the DQ with Otis Grant?
Oh man, I think they said I hit him low or something. You know,
Oh.
it was a low.
Did you? Well, you would know how many times you hit him low.
I hit him low a couple times, but but whatever. He was headbutting me. He cut me like on top of the head, man, like right here. Got cut.
Oh goodness.
Right, he was headbutting me, man. So yeah, man. But I hit him back.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
You can't headbutt him, so I hit him low a couple times. He kept on headbutting me, so hey, man.
Yeah, so
Could you come a little closer, possibly, because the sound's a little far off? Is that okay?
Yeah, man.
Thank you, sir.
I get. Let me see.
so tell us, Derek. After we finished our U.S. boxing team ventures, what did you go? You turned pro, and then what? I mean, you turned pro, and then how did that go for you?
I kind of wanted to probably stay amateur just a little bit longer, just like. But I turned pro. I mean, what's funny, if you don't remember, you were talking to me about coming to California. And it was somebody, whoever you was going pro with, you were like, man, you should cut probably, whatever. And I was like, well, I've been with my trainer. I'm going to stay with my trainer, whatever. But, yeah, man, so I had a pretty decent pro career, man, and but funny, I was kind of in and out. I moved to Vegas, and I stopped boxing out there. I moved back home. I wasn't fighting. Then I started training fighters. Then when I started training fighters, I was like, man, right. So I started back fighting again. When I started back fighting again, that's kind of like when right around the time I had a couple fights, and I fought my last fight. I started promoting fights after that.
Oh,
really?
On my own fights, yeah. And then because I sold. I was like, why would I let a promoter come out of town or wherever the promoter fight, and I'm selling all the tickets? So I started selling my own tickets, so I promote my own fights. I had 2 or 3 fights I promoted by myself. Then at the end, after I retired, I started training Errol in between there. That's kind of how we took off from there, man.
wow.
Well, I mean, that's a good thing. That's good. How was your experience on Team USA with a group of boxers rather than just you?
Hey, man, I don't know how it would be. I mean, because you think about this, man, we grew up together. Like, literally, we had to be our own little men.
Yeah.
Traveling the country, traveling the world, and we had to be mature enough and hold each other accountable, So you look at it like, and then I had never, like, you think about this, like, you think you grow up poor, then you meet, like, guys like Timmy Austin and talk stories, and, like, damn, like, man, my upbringing nothing like that.
Yeah, right?
Well,
So you look at
They
it
show
like,
you a whole nother levels.
right, yeah. And so you realize, like, damn, but at the same time, I think that you grow up because you interact with guys like we had trainers, but when we would go off by ourselves, so we had to be our own guys, and we had to support each other. So I think that's when you truly find love. I mean, really, even though we not gonna say, man, I love you, but you realize your actions is like if somebody love each other, because you team members, you teammates.
so
I know I got love for our whole squad, bro. Everybody. I know I could call anybody, Tim, anybody, Montel, call them right now. Hey, I'm in town. What's up? Boom, they're there. I mean, Ivan Robinson just spent a day with me here in LA. Like I don't know about 2 3 weeks ago.
I saw that. Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
had
dude.
Montel on, we had Winky on, all these guys. Yeah, man, you could tell the love when they talk about. So for people who don't know, listening or who will listen, because we pre-record this, Jeremy and Derek were on the USA boxing team together, right? For how many years?
Well, I mean,
Oh,
we were
three.
3, 4
We did
years.
3 years.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
We went to the Junior Worlds. We were on the Junior Worlds team together also. So that
Yeah,
was
oh shit. That's when we was like 15.
right. That's when we first. Well, no, the Junior World, not the Junior Olympics. Cause see, I'm a year older than you, so I won the Junior Olympics. But then you won it in heavyweight also, because I was heavyweight, and I won it one year. Then the next year you won the heavyweight, and you won
Yeah.
I think years back to back.
So
Then
you won it the year before me.
right, yeah, the year before, yeah, in heavyweight. But then I
Oh,
moved to 165. So
that's
you had
crazy. You went from heavyweight to 65.
yeah. See, I was like, I wasn't a big guy. I mean, I'm still not a big guy. I mean, so
Neither am I.
that's right. Well, yeah, but you were knocking them out. So I was boxing them out. You was knocking them out. A little bit different.
Well,
yeah,
yeah. At
we've
the end of
heard
the day, they still punch back.
we've heard tons
Right.
of stories from the teammates of how Jeremy would just. I mean, I met Jeremy in the Kevin Rooney's stable, right?
Right.
And I've seen it myself. But even before that, I met Jeremy right as he turned pro. But we were talking to Winky and Montel and all these guys, and he would just some of the stories, man. He would just lay.
Right.
I mean, do you have anything that you remember, Derek?
Tell you what's funny. So 1991, so some way he like he has some kind of connection with Omaha, Nebraska. Not Omaha, but Iowa.
Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
Fort Dodge.
So the Nationals was in Davenport.
That's right, yeah.
So we go up there, and Jeremy, because we already knew each other already, Oba, because Oba had turned pro, but Oba showed up at the tournament.
Obakar.
Oh, that's right. Obakar, yeah.
You see, Jeremy and Oba real tight. But Jeremy, he gets in the tournament, he knocks everybody out. Except he didn't knock Montel out.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
But he Montel like, man, I didn't know who Montel was, right? We're in Illinois. Man, they robbed me. I just kept saying, man. But it was funny, he fights the kid from Detroit, man. And he beat him up so bad. The crunk kid, I can't think of his name. But he beat him up so bad but he didn't knock him out. But right when the fight was over, he collapsed after he walked out the ring. He walked down the steps and he collapsed.
Damn.
Yeah.
I told you this. Marco, that's what I'm saying. Don't you mess with me, bro. I'm still.
Then like the worst fight I saw, though, the worst one, which was so disheartening, he beat Jughead up, man. Oh my God. Kenny King, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, but he was a hell of a fight. He gonna be on your ass. He gonna be on you.
Oh, man. All day like a wet blanket, bro.
I think you fought him in the finals or something, man. You beat him up so bad.
Yeah.
Oh God, man. Hey man, I'm so sorry for him.
But so tell me, what I mean, I know that you had your career and you're satisfied with that, and then you moved on to training people.
Right.
I know you've got two of the best fighters in the world right now. Well, what were the guys that on the way that got you to be that influencers of a trainer?
I think that, but when I lived in Vegas for a little bit, and I worked with Roger, and a couple things that Roger said to me that
Roger Mayweather, right?
Roger Mayweather, yeah.
Just so everybody knows who we're talking about.
Yeah. And trained together a lot. I mean, every day basically. And then, but I learned a lot from things from Roger, right? So then, when I started training fighters, it was like I was more enlightened, because what happens to training boxers, I think that the reason why a lot of fighters can't be trainers is because they can't remove themselves from the equation. They can't compare themselves to the fighters today. And they have to be able to articulate what they really want the guys to do. Most guys, somebody used to do this, I used to do that. But the fighter's not going to listen to you because you have competition with his trainer. So I think that, and everything, like I always say, in all the amateurs, all these little nationals, junior worlds, and all that stuff, I won Western Olympic trials. that I was a boxing idiot. And I said idiot because I just did what my coach told me to do, not understanding what these things generally would get. Some things I did, then most everything I did. So when I started to teach it, I had to understand it from every angle. And I had to be able to, like Jamel, if he's not getting it, I'm like, it's not him, it's me. So I had to find a way how to better deliver it to him, or how to show it to him, or how to, if you watch me work with Errol, so it's like you just have to find ways to get across to the guys. You can't give up on them and be, exasperated with, oh my God, I'm done. Got to keep on. So for me, I keep digging. I keep like, how do I give it to him? Because it's not him, it's me.
Have you met anybody, a fighter who has the skill but just won't have taken that information? It just won't work. Or have you been able to get through to every fighter?
I think that, well, put it like this. I don't train a lot of fighters for the reason why is because I think you have to have an emotional relationship with them. So you have to be able to connect with them in a way that they can't even, you have to be able to find some things out about them that they don't even know, right? Mm-hmm. I think if you have 10 guys, 5 guys, 8 guys, you cannot meet these guys because we're from a different breed, a different crop. When Jeremy and I fought, a trainer could train 10 guys because it was like a shop. He would fix them, go, train. I think that for me, I think that the strength is that I spend time with him. Like I was telling a kid the other day, I told him something about himself, right? And then he texted me, said, I must have told you that. I said, no, man, I spent hours with you. I spent time with you. I'm supposed to be, if I can't pick these things up, how do I know how to reach you? How can I reach you if I can't meet you at an emotional place that you need to be, need to be met at? And I think that's where I realized I can't train everybody.
So you read energy really well.
What'd you say?
You read energy. You read the fighter's energy really well.
Yeah, you have to be able to read them from you got to be able to see them. Just the reaction, everything, man. You got to be able to be there with them and not be unattached. My thing is to be focused with them. Like I said, when Errol and Jamel in training camp, I don't even care that they see each other because I want his time to be his time. I want his time to be his time. I don't really want it to be, running intertwined. So I think I want them to know that I'm here for them.
And that's important because boxing, most people don't realize who haven't fought is, what would you say? What I would say 80 to 90% mental. What would you say?
Hey man, I think that it's about 90-some% mental because you think mentally if you can't function, you can't think, you can't understand, if you can't take instruction, right? The physical is everybody's physical. Mm-hmm. Everybody on one level, everybody's good, right? Mm-hmm. But it's what is it that takes to separate you from everybody else? Mm-hmm. I think that's where you got to reach. That's the mental aspect of it. Other guys,
putting yourself in a position, putting your fighter in a position to win the fight. Does that all come from the gym, or does it come from conversation? Does it come from strategy while the fight is happening? Where is that coming from?
It comes from conversation and just they trust and believe me, man. Listen, what's funny, like the best thing about the 2 big guys I have is that they want to be exactly what I want them to be. Like they will really, literally, like they really wanted every instruction. I say, step here, step here. They do it because they believe in me that much, right? Mm. So that everything comes from strategy, and it comes from. See, you have to give them. You have to be able to meet them where they are. So I can't tell Errol something and tell Jamel the same thing, right? Because they're 2 different situations. So I have to train him from like, I know how the camp is going. I know how he's doing. I know what physicality is. I know what his is. So I have to train them at the point where they are. And that means that I know what his limitations are. I know what he can do good. I know what he can't do good. So I have to work on what he can't do good. And if we can fix it, we can fix it. Because like I say, I don't have to make him the best fighter in the world. I just have to make him better than the guy he's facing.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you deal with that mountain. That's it.
that's right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great way to be. And then what does a normal day in the gym look like for you when you go in the gym? You don't have the big shows coming up, or do you don't even go to the gym when there's nothing like that?
No, man, I work 7 days a week, man. So I have a job, man. So
I was going to ask you, is it true that I read that you train Ross Pro Jr. and you do?
Yeah, yeah.
And that you still work at the fitness club.
Yeah.
And you're still there.
Yeah, I still do, man. Look, I train Ross like twice a week, and I go to work Monday through Friday, right? But then I have a gym. I own a gym, and so I train clients I train clients also. So,
you say you go to work. You ain't making burritos for nobody no doggone Chipotle and no shit. I mean, what is work?
I'm a fitness. I teach boxing, so I work people.
Oh,
and yeah.
Well, and everything is boxing.
Yeah.
I'm a white collar trainer, man. So and I've been in my job for like 19 years. So come, let me see, November it'll be 20 years. I've been working.
And I will say,
20
like,
years at a gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I work at a gym. Yeah, I work at
the same gym.
I work at a fitness center. Yeah, same gym. Like 19 years. Yeah.
My goodness.
I will say, so like I had a small pro career, an amateur career, small, and one of my first jobs out of college was training people at I'm from New York Health and Racket, kind of like similar to what you do.
Right.
The difference though between that and then when you step from going to do that and then stepping in front of Errol or Jamel or whatever must be crazy. You know what I mean? The difference in skill level.
Right. You know what? It's like this. At one point you have no expectations. The other point you have all expectations. You know what I mean? You train them from where they are, and you train them from where we were yesterday. You keep building on that, and you have to be like free, meaning that you can't be kick this because when it's Errol, Jamel, I'm like, okay, hands up, don't step. So I'm like, no, stop, tell him something. I know it was like Errol fought Mikey Garcia, and after the fight, he went to LA to do an interview. And they said, so did you and Derek sit down and watch the fight? And so while the interview, said, did you and Derek sit down? I said, no, man, I'm tired of it. He just got said, no, I'm tired of it. He tell me, just because I'm telling him, how many times you got to tell him he's wrong before the night of the fight, you see he's perfect, right? Mm-hmm. So he got no, I'm not listening to the fight. I was like, man, that's pretty funny because I was watching on television. And I saw after I was like, because I tell them no. It's like you got to keep correct them. And it may, even if they're doing it right, I'm going to tell them to do it right sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. To just remind them.
So do you want, coming from purely a trainer standpoint, right? Because in a way, it's not just Errol's fight, but it's your fight, right? Do you really want to see him fight like Crawford? Because that's going to be the ultimate challenge. You don't really care about that.
I don't necessarily think that. Put like this. This is what I do. The only way I can enjoy boxing is I have to remove myself out of it. And you say I am, but it's his career. You know what I'm saying? So my deal is like this. I want for him what he wants for himself.
Okay.
Right? I mean, because even if you look in the Bible, it says God said he wants for you what you want for yourself, even though I'm not a religious guy, but I do remember that part of it. Mm-hmm. So I can't want for somebody. God wants for somebody, right?
Uh-huh.
You want for yourself. So I think that I don't think that could be the ultimate fight. I think that it's a fight out there, but I mean there'll be boxing after that fight. So I think that the ultimate fight could be somebody, with more, whatever. But I'm not gonna get in there. But I think that somebody else could be possibly an ultimate fight, though.
Okay, I mean, I guess you're right. I guess for now, though, that's what that's the other guy right now in that weight class. So but
yeah. If you think about this, listen, there's a guy in boxing who keeps mentioning Errol's name.
Okay.
Who's a big guy?
Canelo?
Huh?
Canelo? You talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so that guy always mentions his name. Has that guy ever mentioned the other guy's name you mentioned?
No.
Okay, what does that tell you about it?
Let me just say, I love how you're doing this mafia encrypted, like the guy and the other guy. Yeah, no, Errol.
So, so basically what I'm saying is the biggest guy keeps challenging the second biggest guy, right? The other big guy. You know, like even with ticket sales, they said last year that Errol surpassed Canelo for the last 2 years with ticket sales.
Did he?
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, even because like in San Antonio, Canelo did 10, Errol did 16.
Jeremy
Wow.
doesn't watch boxing, current boxing at all, so I don't even know if he's seen Errol fight. But that's why I'm here. Jeremy's removed from boxing these
Right.
days.
Hey, watch your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth.
It's true though. It's true. Um,
That sounds like a disgruntled employee, man. Something happened to him in boxing.
mhm.
Right,
That's a fact.
We all know I'm not the boxing guy. But he is, so that's good.
right.
So, oh yeah, I guess just because I'm thinking is me, you know, if I was a trainer as well, I would want to also get that fight that people say that you know would be the toughest or that you couldn't win or whatever, and prove everybody wrong. You know.
Well, you know, I'm not going to say that I don't, but I'm going to say that it's like this. If it happens, it happens. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, it's not like, you know, he's going to keep, he put like this. He's fighting, he said he wants to be the undisputed champion of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So his next fight possibly may be the other champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, it'll be the other champion.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and if that other guy, that bigger guy, you know, they say, okay, let's do it, then it could be the bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that he can't go get the other champion. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on, you know, on the process.
I don't want to focus on
It's
that
good.
because I know you probably get a lot of questions about that, and I know it's boring and old, but you know it's been a thing in boxing that Crawford and Spence aren't fighting, and you know everybody's saying it's the other side or the promoters or whatever, you know.
I mean, listen, fight each other. Because I tell people say, oh, you're ducking the guy. I said so, but when he's in the tournament, he fights whoever who's in next on the list, who wins the tournament the next day. But in pros, you duck people. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it doesn't. I agree.
I think most people don't realize, the average person doesn't realize that most fighters aren't ducking anybody. Like in terms of they're scared or they think they're going to lose. That's usually not the case, but that's what the public likes to say.
It's always business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's business? Think about this. If Mayweather would have fought Pacquiao when they fought, that fight, the first time, or whenever they were trying to make, fight would have been like what? Nothing.
What do you mean?
But when like they
it's about dollars and cents. Man.
Oh,
right. When Mayweather, they tried to make the Mayweather Pacquiao fight years before.
Yes.
I mean, if that would have really legitimately happened, they wouldn't have been able to get $325 million from Mayweather and $125 from Pacquiao.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been more like 20 and 30. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is still a shitload of money.
I guess for the sport, people want to see them fight now. Like, you know, then
they want to. You got to build drama. You got to build drama.
You want to be at the peak of the career, right? You want each of them to be at their peak. Like when they fought Pacquiao and Mayweather, obviously they were both older, and it wasn't the same kind of right.
But they're building drama, you know.
Right, but if you think about this too, the reality of boxing is this: when it comes to boxing business, you can't base a fight of that magnitude off of boxing fans.
Yep.
Because if you look at it like this, when Errol fights, he fights pay-per-view, right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember Terence Crawford when he fought, what's his name, Amir Khan, only sold like 30,000 pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if people really wanted to see him on pay-per-view, they would buy the pay-per-view when he fights on there.
Yeah.
So you can't go into a business, it's like, man, you have to go by the history of the business, right? And all of the data that you've collected.
Mm-hmm.
A big fight and tell ESPN to spend all this money on this guy, and Fox to spend all this money. Why would they come together? If you think about this, Errol sells 600,000-700,000 pay-per-view buys a fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other guy probably sells in all. He sold probably like say 150 in 3 fights.
Mm-hmm.
You can't think that that's going to make 2 television networks merge for 800,000 pay-per-view buys.
I didn't realize that there was such a discrepancy between the two, like that Errol had so much higher numbers. I mean, because I don't look into that kind of shit, but that's crazy.
So I'm just saying, like, listen, or listen, he sold 48,000 seats at the Cowboy Stadium.
That I remember. Yeah, because he's from Dallas.
Right?
Yeah.
Then when he went to LA, fight Sean Porter, he sold out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he doubled back and came back. So she was like, hey man, you can't even compare it. You know what I'm saying? Like Jeremy said it. It's business.
Yeah. Is Canelo an actual possible opponent? Future?
Hey man, I don't know about that. I think anybody's possible. You know what I'm saying? I think that, you never know. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it, Canelo's been calling his name for 2 years. He's fighting middleweight. So think about it. How does a middleweight look fighting, calling out a welterweight?
I agree. Yeah.
But he's thinking of business, right? He wants big fights, big names. The only reason why he moved up because he can't get that fight with Errol. Because what's the biggest feat? Oh man, it looks good if he fights a bigger guy. Post that size, he blows water. I mean, I think last week was like the worst title fight.
Canelo, yeah, Jeremy didn't see it, but Canelo fought some Turkish dude who basically didn't throw any punches and just quit after 3 rounds and took his $4 million.
Yeah, that was a paycheck. That was a sparring match.
Yeah, it really was sparring for real.
So is there? Because I know that Jermell and Errol are somewhat close in weight. Is there any possibility of them ever fighting? Being that you train both of them, that probably could never happen, huh?
I can't go one corner. I go. I'd be running the ring. I can't do it. No,
it's never gonna happen. Yeah, I figured, but
they sparred before, and I think that they're probably gonna spar for these upcoming fights. Because both of them have. Listen, first you got to realize. Have 2 more. Have Jermell fight, possibly gonna fight for undisputed title. Okay. Right, and 1 more unification bout.
How does, if you're at liberty to say, when they spar, how does that go? Who gets the better of the other guy? Is it even?
Well, I'm not at liberty to talk about that.
I gotta ask. Just curious.
I know.
But also in sparring, you're working on stuff, so they're not really.
No. They may be working on something, but
they're going at it.
You know the ego. You know these guys are champions, and you can't. Hey man, you can't let another guy get a 1-up on you. And they're not trying to kill each other. No, but they really focus. You know what I'm saying? They really focus. They really, they really on it. And really, to be honest, man, when I watch them spar, I'm just like, damn, because it's like they're doing everything I'm asking them to do. Because at this point, they have to be perfect, right? Because this guy, he knows this guy may counterpunch, he may do this, may do that, and the other guy knows the exact vice versa. It's like they're trying to be perfect. So I'm watching them just smiling like, damn, it's like you're in heaven. Like you talk to kids the same thing, they do the exact. So it's like amazing, man. Yeah.
Is it that kind of a relationship? Like, are you like an uncle kind of father figure to these guys?
It's like a big brother or something. I don't like to go into the parental or the like that. I just like I'm a big brother to them. I don't want. That's too much of a headache.
Sure. How many other fighters are you training currently, like active professionals?
I work with like a little young guy, Burley. I train for one guy, 1 fight, Frank Martin. So it's kind of like really just like 3 guys on a consistent basis,
Okay.
So I don't want I mean, and I've had the top of the top guys ask me. It's just like this. I want to be able to be who I want to be, right? So I still have a job. I own a gym. I train the fighters. And I do in-home training. So that's why I do in-home training with Perot. I go to, whatever. But I still want to be able to be my guy, myself, then be a father to my kids. So, man, I don't want to be so consumed with this thing that I can't be a father, because that makes.
Is it as consuming as a trainer, the night before a big fight? Is it the same kind of emotional level as a coach, as a fighter? And when you're a fighter, do you reach those same kind of levels as a trainer before a big night, leading up to it, all that?
I don't, man, because I think that my thing is to make sure I cover everything in training camp. And even when I remember with Errol, we would be training, and at the beginning of the school, I would say, is there anything you want to work on that I like? Yeah, we worked on before, but I didn't work on with it before. I just asked, because it's really you got to it's for them to be confident, right?
So you don't get those same kind of butterflies or that same kind of adrenaline boost that you did as a fighter, as a trainer? You don't get that same kind of feeling?
I don't have to. No, I'm not getting hit. No. So I think that, but it's the pressure, man. Listen, man, it's no other pressure job because in the world, I put like this, in this time of day, to be a trainer of a professional team or a professional sport, or any kind of sport for that matter, that it's crazy because they have social media. You think about this. Say I play a game in Phoenix, right? And I'm a basketball player, play a game in Phoenix, I look horrible. And in Philadelphia says something, I would never know it, right? Because he's writing in the paper, Philadelphia, Derrick James look horrible. Who knows? I'm not gonna. But now everything is immediate, so it's everybody's watching, everybody's Monday morning quarterbacking. So you just got to kind of, hey man, go out there and be the best, man. So that's the reality of it.
Wow. What do you see as the next, couple fights for your team, your guys, like big fights? Well, you say I'd like to fight this guy, I'd like to fight that guy, and after that I fight that, and then whatever that looks like.
I would like for Jamel to be, I'm gonna say who he wants to be. So my answers are politically correct, but I want him to fight who he want to fight. So if he want to fight for the unification, that's what I want for him.
So he wants to grab all the titles.
Right? Yeah. He has 3 of them right now. So he's just waiting on the WBO. And think about this: 10 years ago, he would have been the undisputed champ. Remember, but the WBO became a major title. So that one now. So. Yeah, WBO, IBF, and WBC.
Oh, and thinking of what do you think about all these different titles? Should they unify and be one title, or is it better for multiples?
I think that you should be probably one champ, but I think that there'll never be that one champ because too much money to make. Sanctioning fees are. You getting 3%, you know what I'm saying? You getting 3%, man. Who's gonna get that up, right? And everybody wants to be a champ, so they have to have consolation prizes for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because they can't be the main one, at least they can be this one, or this one, this one, this one. I think that.
You remember back in the day, there was
one.
Muhammad Ali. That's it. Yeah. Right. It was either him, Joe Frazier,
right?
What's the guy? George Foreman. It was one champion.
One champion.
No alphabet super around. And now, we all got titles,
right? At
the same time, but who Ring Magazine says this guy's number one,
right?
Boxing Illustrated says, oh, that guy's number one,
right?
And then WBO says this, IBF says that, WBA says this. So, there's a lot of titles, but I would love to see some type of unification where, they made a one world title, one world champion, and yeah, it's not gonna happen, but it would look so good for our sport.
And too much money, Jeremy. You know that it's too much money.
Too much.
Collective.
Do you? I read somewhere. I don't know if it's true. Do you actually get in there and spar with your guys, lightly, heavily?
Well, when I started training them, I would spar with them. I would spar with Errol because what I wanted him to see the difference is you spar an amateur on a pro fighter. And the stuff that you can get away fighting an amateur guy, you won't be able to get away with sparring with me. So once I let him know that, after that I hadn't sparred with him anymore. Plus he's gotten so much better too, so so yeah.
I mean, so obviously both guys are extremely well talented and very good fighters. If you had to you had to move around with one of them, which one would it be?
You know, I'm not gonna say that because I mean, but like this, I could. You know what? If I had to spar one of them, every now and then I want to spar Jamel. To be honest,
you wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Every now and then I do. I kind of think about it. You know, yeah.
Why?
Because man, it's just I never sparred with him before, so I sparred with Errol. You know, but I never worked with him. You know, and I just want. But I think that when we work the mitts, it's kind of like sparring. So, you know, the only thing is that they're not hitting me, but I am throwing punches back at them.
So is it a thing like you want to see how you could kind of do in there with them?
No, man, I just think that every now and then, you know, you want to, get in there with them.
Yeah, like
we're fighters. You know, Marco, you like to move around with people too, right?
Right.
Yeah, man. I mean, I haven't in a while.
That's like this. You know, people say, "Hey, you want to spar with me?" I'm like, "Yep, let's go."
And like Jamel will say, "Man, I wish I could, because I wish I could spar you." Hey, man, anytime, I said anytime.
Yeah, all you gotta do is
those two fighters. Very different personalities, at the Charlie. Jamel's very kind of he's outspoken. He's more boisterous, and then Errol seems, and I never met either of them, but just from the public persona, Errol seems very kind of calm and chill.
Yeah.
So it's dealing with two different personalities, but it doesn't matter because once you're in the gym, it's all the same thing, right?
Well, you know what, man? Remember I told you I meet them at an emotional level, right? So, when you know who they are, then you know who they are, right? So it may not be the character that the person, the role that you're playing or whatever, so I kind of like deal with them, from the perspective that I know them as to be for myself.
Right.
But I mean, they're really like great students, man. I don't think that you can be a great athlete, you can be a great this, a great that, but athleticism, I mean, being very astute and very studious, man, I think that's the key element. I think that's like the strength that they have, is that they're able to want to be great and desire.
And let me ask you, so back in my day and in you guys' day, we used to have to spar every day, almost, right? Yeah. I heard that over the years that's changed. Do you have them, how often do you have them spar and lean up for a fight? How many times?
We spar like 3 days a week.
Okay.
3 out of 6.
Because it was too much back in the day, I feel like.
For me is that I think that what day do you have to correct yourself? So we'll spar. If whatever you did wrong, we're going to correct it. Then you work the next day. And then whatever you do wrong, just keep correcting until it's perfect. I think that your body's only meant to take so many punches. I think that to spar so much to get hit in the head is damaging.
It is.
All of the punch drunk syndrome, all of those, what is it, PS, whatever they call it,
CPT, I mean CPT.
Well,
TTS.
We just found out that our old trainer, Kevin Rooney,
that comes about.
Oh, sorry. We just found out that our old trainer, Kevin Rooney, has dementia brought on by fighting all those years. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, so all those things happen in the gym, man. That's why you need somebody who's somebody who knows what it looks like, right? Knows if somebody hurts, knows if somebody wobble. Because the fighter's going to play it off. You know what he is. He doesn't want anybody to know he's hurt. You have to be a guy who has the eye. The only reason why you had an eye because you felt that you've been in that place before, right?
Yeah, no, true.
How many rounds do you have a fighter doing during those 3 days? Like, and I'm asking so our listeners can get an idea what it's like at the highest level.
Hey man, listen, man. To be honest, Jamel may spar about 14 rounds, right?
In one session.
One session, right? Yeah. But Errol may spar like about he's done up to 20 rounds.
Woo!
Right, 20 rounds.
Yeah,
23 minutes. That's 30 break.
That's 2 hours in the gym, in the ring.
Yeah. So you'll do like 20 rounds. But on average, you'll do like 15, 16. You know.
Wow.
These 4 rounds working hard, or you working on stuff?
He's throwing punches, man. You know, he's throwing punches.
Oh, he's throwing punches, but are you in his ear like, okay, we're working on X?
He's working on stuff. He's working on stuff.
Okay, that makes sense. Because then there's like, all right, stop. Hey, da da da, right?
Well, we do it in between the rounds. So I mean,
damn. So you up to 3.
If we stop in the rounds, man, we do 30-second break. So we stop while he's in the round. He's gonna say, "Start the clock over." he's gonna want to get his full round in. So you got to be like, yeah. But no, man, he works a lot, man.
That's very. He ain't gonna be out of shape. That's for sure.
Right.
Do you ever have situations, maybe not with these specific guys, but in the past where you're in there with guys and they're just not listening, they're in their own kind of thing during the fight? Right.
Yeah, man. It's like, but what happened is I had my little young kid, right? Mm-hmm. And he fought a fight and he lost. Mm-hmm. But what happened was there was other stuff that happened, right? Mm-hmm. Other stuff outside of boxing to where he couldn't get it right. Mm. Then I talked to him the other day. Like, he's the one I talked to him. I said something to him about, this is why you were like that. Mm-hmm. And you got to let it go. You can't hold on to that. And so he's like, did I tell you something about that? Mm. No, you didn't. I mean, I spent time with you. We travel together. I have to be able to understand what's wrong with you and why you were not able to take instructions. Why you so angry, right?
Yeah. You said he was angry in the ring?
Angry in the ring, yeah.
And that's funny because certain fighters, like Tyson, for example, in his prime, took that and made it a positive. But then Tyson also, right, took that later on and made it part of his downfall, the anger. You have to be able to control the anger, right?
Right, but I think that with Mike Tyson wasn't angry. Mike Tyson was afraid. He even came out and said that's what it was, just fear. So if you think most people do everything from a perspective of fear, not really anger. The anger is just the
cover up.
It was a cover up, right?
Residue of fear.
With this guy, what I'm talking about, he fights with anger. So when he fights with anger, he can't think, right? And I said, do whatever the issue that you have that you're mad about, it's not even with you. So you try to talk to him to try to get him to get his mind, keep his mind focused and right. But like even with Mike, like the fury of it, like the key of it, we always say, if you get a guy mad, you can't think, right? So with Mike was never mad. Mike will come out and say, if you watch him today, you'll see he's like, man, that was his insecurity. That was his. Right. Other things that we thought that a guy like that couldn't be, he was even more, because fame brings more of those things out. Who do you trust?
There's certain guys, I think, that the greats that could take that anger though, and like Roy Jones, I feel like when he would get angry, like look at the rematch with Montel, he would focus it, right? And tell me if you disagree, and would take the anger, bring it in, and do it in a very effective way. Not lose himself, but use it to win.
I think he wasn't mad at Roy. I mean, I just think he was.
Mad at himself.
Mad at that he lost, not at Montel specifically.
He's probably mad at himself.
So if you look at it like this, I think he was so mad. Whatever it was, mad at himself, whatever. But he was able to compartmentalize it. But at the same time, say, if I get this opportunity again, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how I'm gonna handle it, right? Mm-hmm. So Because when he knocked him down, he was probably more upset because he couldn't catch Montel with a flush shot. So he on the ground.
No, I meant in the rematch when he knocked him out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When I get the opportunity to do it again, I'm going to be calmer. I'm going to be, you know what I'm saying, be more patient.
Oh, okay.
But that's when I was able to catch him with the shot. That before he couldn't catch.
Yeah, I always thought all my years, you know, having anger or having insecurity or fear or anxiety is very important to be a fighter, I think.
Right? Keeps you honest. It keeps you honest, yeah.
Because if you have somebody, I mean, do you agree? Like, have you ever taken a fighter that is completely level and doesn't have any trauma and just happy-go-lucky and they're great fighters?
Errol Spence. Yeah, I mean, he came from, you know, he's like, you would kind of like be like, man, like, you know, everything, mother, father, everything, you know. I think that
everything normal in his life.
Everything normal to everybody else. I think that, yeah, man, he doesn't have those, you know, but I think that we always are fighting for other things and whatever it is, whatever, you know, your motivation. Remember, Ring Magazine contacted me and said, man, we're going to do a story about Errol. I said, what motivates him? I'm like, he just wants to win. Well, how was his father, his mother? I'm like, said, man, he just wants to win, man. He found something he likes, he wants to win. Hey, so what about, tell me about his upbringing? I'm like, hey, man, mother, father, you know, came good home, decent, you know, middle class America. He's like, okay, thank you, bye.
Well, that is so an unusual story for a fighter to come from the middle class of the world. Just, you know, nothing special, nothing too extreme left or right. Just walk down the middle of the street and have a good career. That shit happens once in a while.
Yeah.
Rare, very rare. Listen, if you think about it, you can't, I mean, maybe Sugar Ray Leonard, you know what I'm saying, you know? Like, it's very rare that it happens, you know, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I read that, and this is kind of random, but I read that you have the fastest knockout as a fighter in American international boxing history.
I did. Somebody beat that. I knocked the guy out in 21 seconds of the first round, so it was an international bout, USA versus England. I knocked the body shot.
Oh, amateur fight. Oh.
Yeah, Jeremy just recently posted his, what was it, 8-second knockout? What was it?
As a pro?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was 21 seconds of the first round. And listen, that's something that Jeremy probably would have done. But see, the people were afraid of him, so they bounced around.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot with Jeremy. He also, in retrospect, should have stayed at cruiser, I think, and he would have been. I mean, it would have been a way different. You know what I mean?
Light heavyweight.
Yeah, well, light. You probably couldn't have made light heavy, right, Jeremy?
I was too big. It was too big. Too big for that. Too small for heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
So same shit. Whatever.
Yeah. And listen, Dr. Taylor, I gotta go to the restroom right quick.
But we're almost done, bro.
Okay. We'll try to hold it.
So, hey, you know, we appreciate you coming. Hey, we'd love to get your two fighters on. You know, if you can make that happen, we'll set that up so we can get them on and have them come and talk about you like you talked about them.
All right.
So we'll contact you in the future. Thank you so much. I'm the champ. He's the chump.
No, and, I'm the champ. He's the chump. You know.
All right. Right.
It's great talking.
You have a great night, man. Thank you. Great talking to you.
Great to see you, Jay.
Yeah, man. We will again.
All right.
All right. Take care, man.
Yep.
Hey, guys, please subscribe and smash that like button. And if there's any fighters you want us to interview or anything else, any questions or comments, hit us up. We're here for you.